Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. In this video, we'll be going through the Brisbane Heat preview for the BBL SuperCoach 25-26 season, in which we go through their predicted starting 11, which they're one of the teams that does have quite a few players out on international duty at the moment, or projected to be out on international duty, even though McSweeney and Renshaw didn't get the call-up. You've obviously got Kawaja, Labuschagne, and I believe there's someone other that's also missing, but I could be wrong about that. I'd need to double-check that, which will cause a little bit of chaos in their batting ranks. But also, just looking at their side this year, it doesn't feel as strong in the first domestic part of the season, because of probably the loss of Spencer Johnson probably is just what's causing that to be the case. But anyway, let's jump into it. But before we do, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and I will see you guys in this next segment. So, first of all, to start up the lineup, Colin Munro, I believe he's still captain of the side, taking up the opening spot alongside McSweeney. Honestly, that top three could be in any order. Well, McSweeney and Renshaw could be in any order, in my opinion, because they both have batted, both have opened, both have batted three. It kind of just depends on preference. I don't think it has a meaningful impact, which, if I'm wrong, if I'm correct or anything, because they're both going to get ample opportunities, and I still don't think they're valuable because I believe they're both in the 110s, 120s for price. I'd need to double check that, but I'm pretty sure that's where they're at. But yeah, that top three, I'm pretty confident is going to be the top three. Obviously, no Labuschagne, no Kawaja. It's going to cause a little bit of impact, but it's mainly in the middle to late order that they really feel an impact here. Number 4, I've gone with Hugh Wibkin. I believe Lockie Hearn's the one that could be a bolter into this spot. Obviously, no Labuschagne would mean that if he wasn't selected, if he didn't have this dream runner form, then you'd probably see Labuschagne in that number 4 spot, or in the number 3 slot, Renshaw in number 4, and that would definitely strengthen up the order. But I do think Wibkin will get his opportunity. I do think he is. It's between him and Lockie Hearn, and I just think Wibkin is maybe a little bit ahead, but obviously could be wrong. I don't think it will have a material impact on who you go for, because I just think that there's a lot better value in trusted, known, best 11 players, rather than this year going for like the Wibkins, the ones that even the Wildermyths that I don't think you can go for this year. Well, you could have done, obviously, in previous years, and it would have worked out somewhat, but I don't think you should be doing it this year because we've got more best 11 confirmed, almost captaincy guys down at that 70, 80, 90k, which we'll get to in a second with one of the guys on screen. Max Bryan at number 5, I think this is the perfect position for him. Obviously, we've seen him open in the past. Him and Ben Cutting, I think, chased 160 odd on their own or whatever it was in about 10 overs 4 or 5 years ago now it would have been. But yeah, those days are now gone, and I think he's cemented himself in that lower middle order, or upper middle order, you should say, at number 5. And then Allsop at number 6. Again, I'm going to say him or Pearson isn't going to have a material impact. One of them's probably going to play. You could see both of them play and not play Wibkin, but I just think that they'll give chances to Wibkin. Even Lockie Hearn will probably get chances, so I wouldn't be going there, but I do think Wibkin gets the start in that number 4 role. But Allsop, I think he gets the start there. It was all right last year, but he wasn't brilliant. And then we get to where I think the real value is with Brisbane, and then we'll get to their schedule and why I do think there's real value here. Michael Neser, for competitive players, he's probably going to be 90-95% owned, to be completely honest with you. What's he, 90 odd K, 93k, I believe. He's been a serial 200k, and I know that 200k is the old 200k is the equivalent of about 180k now, 170k now, probably 175, 180k. But still, we've only got 5 or 6 guys above that 180k. And that's what Michael Neser was serially for 4 or 5 years when he was actually playing. And obviously with the likes of Spencer Johnson going down, and then replacing him with Wildermuth to a certain extent, and then also losing the likes of Swepson, and replacing him with replacing Johnson with Afridi and Swepson with Wildermuth, that opens up a massive opportunity now to get more overs in from Neser. It feels like they've lost an all-rounder in there as well. I don't remember exactly who was in their side, but it feels like they've definitely lost an all-rounder there. But yeah, so I think that there will be overs for Neser there at number 7, and batting number 7 as well is a brilliant place to bat. We've seen Daniel Sams do it as well, him bat 6, 7, etc. We've seen Jamie Overton do it as well there as well. So that is the perfect spot for the higher scorers. I think the bowling all-rounders to bat that number 7, and I think Neser has that rebound year. Wildermuth, number 8, I think just more in case of he will probably bat 7 or 8. I mean, it could be Neser that bats 8 and Wildermuth 7, but I think that Wildermuth gets a game here just because there isn't much left over, to be honest with you, and I don't think they're going to start a really young guy. I know Vidler is also out injured as well as Johnson, so they've got a hit to their bowling stocks anyway, so I think that Wildermuth is the next guy up. Just given that he's played a little bit of state cricket recently. And then you've got Bartlett. We can go over his bowling numbers. He's probably a guy that you can stash on your bench. He's 128k, which is the equivalent of like a 140k previously. And he was started the year last year at 200k. So you can see that value creation there is about 16, 17 points unders at least, I would think. And then Shaheen Afridi at 152 could be really, really damaging. And then Kuhnemann at number 11 could actually get a little bit more overs now that Sweppo's out and they don't really have that bowler, that spinner. I know that Renshaw and McSweeney could actually get some more overs, but I just don't think they will get too many more meaningful overs, and Kuhnemann will just get those overs there. So then we get to their schedule, and they're a rather simple schedule this year as well, but they do have that early double game week, so it does mean that, like the man on screen, Xavier, Bartlett, and some others will be the main guys that we look to target. It will mostly be guys off the bench for the first week, as we look to target game week 1 doubles, and then game week 2 doubles, we want to have them sitting there waiting to go. And so that's why I think that Bartlett is a guy that we should really be looking at. But anyway, let's jump across to all of the players here. So first of all, we'll go in terms of, and I just want to put this in terms of ownership just to see, and then we will sort by highest price. So let's start off with Spencer Johnson. You basically can't select him because it looks like he's going to be missing the better part of the first half of the season with the back injury. I think he had surgery now 13 weeks ago, and he said a couple of weeks ago that he was only about halfway through his, or it might have been in October that he was only halfway through his rehab, and that put at like 12 weeks or whatever. I'm trying to remember what exactly it was, but that put him roughly in line with a like early January return. Obviously, we're going to hopefully get some updates soon regarding that, and I may have missed an update there, but I don't think that Spencer Johnson will be starting this season for us, and that means that there will be some openings, I guess, bowling slots open for the likes of Bartlett. Well, I mean, he's going to open the bowling anyway, but the likes of Neser, well, he probably won't open as well, because you do have as well Shaheen Afridi that will play. So yeah, it does look like Spencer Johnson will miss the initial start of it, of the BBL, but hopefully he isn't ruled out completely just yet, because that would be a little bit annoying. But yeah, we haven't really heard an update since about October 10th, so I wouldn't be surprised if we get an update soon. Then we get Shaheen Afridi at 152k, and if we just look at the stats, obviously you would have seen in the previous video we did look at Hassan Ali's stats, and we looked at the deep dive there into what's going on there. And I really liked his stats because he was 35k cheaper, which is something like 17 points, I think. If we go to Shaheen Afridi, it's 57. Whereas the likes of Colin Munro, it's 13 points difference, and 13 points difference is quite a lot of value, especially when the likes of Hassan Ali can hold the bat a lot more. So yeah, there's a big difference there. T20s. He's actually done all right in the Asia Cup somehow. It was against India, UAE, and Bangladesh, and he scored 83. Tri-series, nothing there. Let's go to just this. Nothing really here. You can see in the PSL, one good knock in 7 for 31 runs and no bonuses. And then 29 and 3 here at with a 22 off 14. So there isn't going to be many batting bonuses for him, if any, comparative to the likes of Hassan Ali. And then if we do look at, let's just go to this and out of this to grab the T20 portion. 2 games, 4 wickets for him against South Africa in the Asia Cup, 7 innings for 10 wickets, UAE, etc., Pakistan. PSL, 19 wickets in 12 innings, so you can see that the numbers do stack up. He actually did really well in the final series with 8 wickets in 3 games. But you can kind of see a little bit erratic in the other games. So 152k, he might be the type of guy that I pass up on early because 152k on a single isn't necessarily the greatest. But obviously he does have that early double, and so it will be a wait and watch. I could easily start him as well, but I just have a feeling that I want to just wait and watch one game, as they do have to start the season Melbourne Renegades. He could run straight through them at GMHBA, so that is a massive watch there. Labuschagne not playing early. Renshaw 139k. I thought he was going to be like 110k, but no, 139k, so rather expensive for him. I just don't see there being any value there at all. We saw he was 1 to start last year, having averaged 23 the season before, and pretty much outside of that had averaged mid 40s, except for another 20 season. You can see just there all of the value that was there previously. So priced at 52, there's just not value there for what he's going to produce as a basically batter only player. Khawaja is not going to be there. And then Xavier Bartlett also had another down season. So he's gone from being really, really up and down. So I just think that there is really good potential value here that we've seen in the past, him have those really spike games and years where he's averaged 68 and 71, and then in other years he somehow averaged 28. I think he might have got injured in this. Don't exactly remember, but yeah, he didn't play the best. It looks like he might have potentially got injured, given that he only played 3 games in 22-23 and came back the year after with a 68. So I expect, even though he's priced at 48, which is rather expensive, that he will do pretty well. And I think he's going to be one of the guys that I want to start on the bench. You can see also 122k. I just don't see him really improving much. And a keeper on a non-double to start. We've seen the value in Philippi and also the likes of a McDermott. You would have seen that in my BBL Team Picker 1 video. So I just don't see there being value with Allsop compared to those two. McSweeney falls under very much the same thought process as the likes of a Renshaw. I know Renshaw is like 10 higher than McSweeney, 7 higher. But yeah, I just don't see it with the likes of McSweeney this year. And I just don't think that he's a guy that I want to bring in or start, because there's other guys that have doubles that have a lot better scoring potential in the past. Like a Mitch Marsh, I think could do a lot better than McSweeney. And that's just because Mitch Marsh should be getting that strike rate bonus, whereas McSweeney probably won't get the strike rate bonus as much. If we look in the past here, you can see for 365 points, he scored 209 runs and 45 strike rate bonus last year. In the year before that, 145 runs for 15 strike rate bonus. And of that, he had He had 2 innings where he got over 20 and didn't get a strike rate bonus, and then had 2 innings as well here where he got over 20, and they were large innings of 42 and 29, and he didn't get a strike rate bonus. So I think there's just other guys that will get to 20 and get that massive strike rate bonus. That's almost doubling their points. Monroe, I just can't go there. If he was priced at what he should have been priced at, based off of last year's 7.7, then if he was priced at like 60 odd, then that would have been perfect. But they fixed him at 117k, which sucks. But it is what it is with SuperCoach. And then we get to Max Bryant, 114k. I just do not see the value, to be honest with you, at his price point as well. 43 break even. I could see him doing that again. I mean, he's done 43, 49, 21, 32, and then also 37. So he's done somewhat similar numbers in the past before, but I just don't see him really taking that next step, and I don't think it will be consistent. I think it will be erratic, and I don't want to catch the downturn, trade him out, and then miss out on the upturn. Jimmy Pearson, I don't even know if he plays, so I'm not consistent there with that. And then we get to the big value, probably almost the most valuable player in the competition, Michael Neser. Last year, played, 5 games, is that? 4 games, sorry, for a 141. The year before that, played 8 games for a 59. The year before that, what was that? About 13 games for a 814. The year before that, 41. And the year before that, 40, and then the year before that, 49, and so on. But you can kind of see that there's value here. There is value here, given that he is priced. What are we looking at? He is priced at least 5 point unders from his next worst campaign, I believe I went through. And in the last 2 or 3 years, we have seen him go at a solid 25 points above what he's done in the past. So it's just, this 41.3 and this 40.8. Does he return to that? I don't think so. And he's got the Melbourne Renegades at GMHBA. I think he could absolutely towel them up. And I really like where he's batting as well, because it feels like they've lost a little bit of that depth. And I don't think that Brisbane will be as good a side with the batting this year. And I think that will actually help Neser get some more opportunities with the bat. If we look at him in his stats from the previous year, if we just make this a little bit smaller, you can see he scored 30 runs, no strike rate bonus. Year before that, 76 runs. The year before that, 93 runs, and obviously more games, more, etc. The year before that, 4, and then that was in a bad year. I think that might have been, and 3 as well, and then the year before that, 59. So whenever he scores well with the bat, he goes well in general. So you can kind of see that, and that's why I think he's going to do really, really well this year, because I think he's going to get more opportunity with the blade. And we can just see it as well if we go to his stats here as well. If we go to T20 here, you can see BBL only 3 innings with the bat for 30 runs. And then if we go to T20 again and search this, you can see that he had 4 innings for 4 wickets. And just didn't get any bowling basically done. In the T20 Blast, 7 innings for 12 wickets. Huge differential there. And that's on par with, in general, obviously not as many games, but that's on par with the likes of a Hassan Ali, I believe, in similar numbers. And that's on par with the likes of a Luke Woods, similar-ish to a Hassan Ali as well. And then BBL as well, the year before, 12 wickets in 11 games. The year before that, 16 innings for a 26-wicket return. And then the Blast before that, 9 innings for 13 wickets. So you can just kind of see it here that he should be in rip-roaring form, I want to say. And then I just also want to check his batting stats in the T20 Blast. 39 runs in 4 innings. The BBL before that, 88 runs. The BBL before that, 141 runs. And then the T20 Blast there, 2 innings for 17. The BBL before that, barely batted. And then barely batted in other innings here. But you can kind of just see that he has that capability of taking and scoring that 30 odd. We didn't really see it here, neither here, but you can see that 64 there. That was absolutely mega. That would have been 35. That would have been 99 points on its own, just that effort there of 64 off 30. So you can kind of just see it with the likes of Neser that he should go really well. Kuhneman, I just don't see it this year. He's never been, 40, 30. He could be a guy to store off the bench instead of like a Swepo. If I get my, if I know my buy teams, not my buy teams, my double teams well enough, I would think that he has the double before the likes of Swepson. because I'm pretty sure the Stars have it in round 3. Which, if that is the case, then that is a positive return to be able to have Kuhnemann stashed on the bench over the likes of a Swepson, even though I really like Swepson's first couple of matchups. But yeah, the Stars do have the double in round 3 and then the double in round 5. So Kuhnemann could be your sort of response to the likes of a Swepson, as he will get to the double quicker. You can play him on the double at 75k. He's probably going to have returns on the double as well. Obviously didn't have many returns last year. If we look at his season stats, you can kind of see 29, 13, 43, 2, 2 here as well. But this 83 here is a huge one. If we go back the season before that, you can kind of see a lot more consistent returns. And I think he will get more and more overs this year. So I think he's going to be a guy that could potentially be one to look at. If we just go to Matt Kuhnemann stats, and then let's go to, it's going to be, this one's going to be the best one to look at it. So if we go here to Matt Kuhnemann and then his stats here for T20, and then go to bowling, and this one here, you will see that that's 1 dayers. It's not giving us the T20, annoyingly. Can you give us T20, please? Why are you not giving us T20? Here we go. You can see in the BBL previously in 23-24, he took 10 wickets in 11 innings at 6.5, but only had 8 innings, 7 wickets at 8.95. So the economy rate was the big differential. You can see the other years, he's basically a wicket per game, which he's done before, but yeah, just a little bit worse on the economy rate, really tanked his value. And if we look at the batting here, if it will allow me to get to T20s, you'll see barely any runs anyway. So it is more just the bowling and the economy rate, which is the big go factor for Kuhnemann. So, and with him being in and around the test squad, it will be annoying, but I think we can get away with it potentially. So he might be one to look at as a differential to Swepson in that bowling slot. Then you get all the 58.5s and the 39.5s. Weebkin, I don't think you can go there. Wildermuth, if he's guaranteed to play, and they say Spencer Johnson isn't going to return anytime soon, then he could be a decent guy to potentially have a look at. If we look at 2020, 2024, 25, didn't play there as well, hasn't basically played, then had a 49 in 3 games run there, 49 the season before that, 18, and then the season before that, 35. So if he is guaranteed game time, I could go there over a Swepson, because you might get to the double quicker. And if he is guaranteed to get the 4 overs there, he could be a really cheap guy to get on pre-double, and it might allow you to get the cash cow instead of having to trade in for doublers up in round 2. So that might just allow you to have that chance at getting that cash generation going quicker if you go for a Wildermuth over the likes of a Swepson. But I really don't know if he's going to play first up. Lockie Hearn at 39.5k. He might get a start, but I just can't see it at the moment. Obviously, I could be wrong with that. But 39.5k, I just don't like picking these type of guys because they may be in and out of the side. Vidler is out injured at the moment, and Ollie Patterson is a youngster from eastern suburbs in Sydney, so he probably won't get a chance, you would expect, even with the injury ravaged nature that the likes of Brisbane are under. I just don't think he gets his chance to play. But anyway, that is the Brisbane Heat and their preview for the 2025-26 BBL SuperCoach campaign. If you guys enjoyed that video, remember to like and subscribe. Turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and I will see you guys probably later on Wednesday, if not Thursday. I'll see you guys for more previews of the BBL SuperCoach season. Bye, guys.